I never believed in ghosts. I never put stock in haunted houses, cursed objects, or stories of lingering spirits. But that changed the day I bought that secondhand car. It was a deal too good to pass up, an old 1978 Chevrolet Caprice Classic, deep burgundy with black leather seats. The seller, a quiet, gaunt man named Mr. Holloway, had advertised it at half its market value. He lived on the outskirts of town, in a dilapidated farmhouse that looked like it had been abandoned long before he ever lived there. When I arrived, Holloway barely spoke. He just handed me the keys and signed the papers in silence. His pale fingers trembled as he passed me the documents, and for a moment, his sunken eyes locked onto mine. "You should take care of it," he muttered, voice cracked like dry wood. "It doesn't like to be left alone." I laughed awkwardly, assuming he meant the car had been sitting idle for too long. I didn't ask questions. I should have. Driving home, the car felt off. Not mechanically. No, the engine ran smoothly. The brakes were firm, the handling sharp. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone inside. The first strange thing happened at a stoplight. I had my hand on the steering wheel, but it turned slightly on its own. Not a twitch, but a slow, deliberate motion, as if something invisible was guiding it. I pulled over, checked the power steering fluid. Everything was fine. Maybe I was imagining things. Then came the whispers. At first, I thought it was the wind. A faint, distorted murmuring from the back seat. But when I turned around, no one was there. I turned up the radio. That's when the static started. No matter what station I switched to, all I heard was garbled whispers and a faint, rhythmic breathing, like someone inhaling deeply, exhaling slow and heavy. The air inside the car turned stale, and the faint scent of something rotten crept in. I drove home faster than I should have. That night, I parked the car in my garage and went inside, locking the door behind me. But sleep wouldn't come. I dreamed of the car, except I wasn't in the driver's seat. I was in the back, staring at the rearview mirror. And something was sitting in the front seat, gripping the wheel with long, bony fingers. It didn't turn around, but I knew, deep in my chest, that if it did, I wouldn't be able to wake up. I jolted awake at 3:15 a.m., heart pounding. Then I heard it. A faint click, the unmistakable sound of the garage door unlocking itself. I crept to my window, peering down at the driveway. The garage was open, the car's interior light flickering. But I hadn't opened it. Hands shaking, I grabbed a flashlight and went outside. The air was freezing, my breath coming out in white plumes. I swung the flashlight beam into the car. The front seat was empty. The leather was wet, like someone had just climbed out. The scent of damp earth and mildew filled the air. That's when I saw it. On the fogged-up driver's side window, a message had been written from the inside. "Where are you going?" From that night on, the car became a nightmare. Every morning, I'd find it in a different spot in the driveway, sometimes with the engine running. My keys would be exactly where I left them inside the house. At night, I'd hear the faint scraping of something moving inside the car, like nails dragging across the dashboard. Once, I caught a glimpse of a shape in the back seat through the rearview mirror while I was driving. It was shadowy, slumped forward, its breath fogging up the glass. I slammed on the brakes and spun around. Nothing. But the indentation was still there, a deep, sunken impression in the leather seat, like someone had been sitting there for a long, long time. I tried to sell the car. No one would buy it. Every time a buyer showed interest, something happened. The battery died, the paperwork vanished, or worse, they saw something in the car and left without a word. Then I found the notebook. It was tucked under the driver's seat, wrapped in a moldy cloth. A leather-bound journal, pages yellowed with age. Inside were entries, dozens of them. I hear it breathing. It knows when I'm awake. It won't let me leave. The last entry was scrawled in shaking handwriting. If you're reading this, it's already too late. I flipped to the inside cover. A name was etched there. Joseph Holloway. The same last name as the man who sold me the car. I searched online and found an old news article. In 1982, a man named Joseph Holloway was found dead inside this very car. Locked inside, seatbelt fastened, eyes wide open, his mouth stretched in a silent scream. They ruled it a heart attack, but people in town whispered something different. The car took him. I couldn't take it anymore. One night, I decided to get rid of it for good. I drove deep into the woods, miles from any road, and doused the car in gasoline. My hands shook as I struck a match. The moment the flame touched the hood, a blood-curdling scream erupted from inside the car. The windows shattered. The engine roared to life on its own. And in the flickering flames, I saw it. A charred figure in the driver's seat, its hollow eyes locked onto mine. Its lips curled into a grin. The last thing I remember before blacking out was its voice. "You should have never left me." I woke up at dawn, lying on the ground. The car was gone. Not burned, not destroyed, just gone. A few days later, I saw an ad online. 1978 Chevrolet Caprice Classic for sale, $500. Runs perfectly. The seller's name? J. Holloway. I stared at the screen, my blood turning ice cold. Because I knew one thing for certain. The car was waiting. For the next driver. For the next victim. For the next soul to claim. And God help them, because I barely escaped.